of our self-care challenge. Yay! We made it 2 weeks, all right? So I am excited about you being here today and what we're going to learn. And today's challenge, if you're following with the download, we're doing something new every day, one small task of enrichment for our overall well-being, mind, body, and spirit. And today's task is learn something new today. And we're going to talk about the benefits of that, the science, give you some tips for how to learn and things that types of things that you can learn. So I'm here for it. I'm an educator, and as a teacher, I love this, and I think we should all be lifelong learners. Why? Because learning really is continuing to develop your brain, right? And one of the things that learning does is it staves off ailments. So if you want to stave off Alzheimer, dementia, memory loss, Parkinson's disease, those types of things, it staves off those things. So we want to continue to grow and make those new neural pathways, right? Rewire the brain. And we know that the brain has plasticity. And so when we learn something new, it's forming new connections, right? It's rewiring and forming new neural pathways. And that's beneficial to us in the long run, right? And what if our mind is healthy, then it impacts our overall well-being. Okay, so are you following along with the challenge? We have made it 2 whole weeks, and I'm excited about that, which means we have a week left. It is not too late for you to plug right on in because you can just jump in with the task of the day and then go back and watch the replay. So it's not too late to invite somebody. We've been going at this for 2 weeks, and I am still so excited. I love having you guys here with me, each of you today. Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for joining. So happy to have you. So we're talking about learning something new. Okay. And we talked about, let me tell you some of the benefits. So first of all, it activates the well, let me give you the science behind it first, and then we'll go to the benefits. It activates the SNVTA part of the brain, which is linked to learning and memory. Okay. And so that is also known as the novelty center of the brain, which means that's the part of the brain where you see the light bulb go off. If you watch cartoons, if you read in magazines or books and you see a light bulb moment, we actually do have a light bulb moment. And let me get to that on the screen here. Here we go, multitasking. So there definitely is really lights being triggered on the inside of our brain because that's a novelty part of the brain and it's activated. What it does is when you experience a rush of dopamine, right? And that dopamine is our happy chemical that is released. And that light bulb goes off when the brain is exposed to new stimuli. And so we really do light up on the inside when we get new information. So it makes us feel better. It makes us feel more accomplished. We may even feel more confident when we learn something new. Good morning. Thank you for joining. So some of the benefits are it builds your self-esteem. Okay. It makes you a more interesting person. You know how it is to talk to someone and you can tell that they are knowledgeable, they had experiences, they have great conversation, they have plenty to add, they add value to any conversation or to any room. You can even find a more rewarding career if you are more knowledgeable. So if you're learning things, and which with finding a more rewarding career could potentially be an income boost too. So that could potentially increase your overall income and make you more profitable. Anyway, learning fuels your creativity. Okay. So the benefits are it builds your self-esteem and makes you more interesting as a person. You can find a more rewarding career, which could stimulate your income, and it can fuel your creativity. Now, let's go over some tips. Some of the tips for staying on a path of learning regularly. So even if you don't do it daily, maybe you'll do it on a regular, consistent basis. And I recommend it, right? Why? It's staving off those ailments, memory loss, Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's disease, a lot of things that impact us mentally, that impact our overall health. Because once the mind declines, a lot of other areas in our health decline too. So we want to stave those things off by creating new neural pathways, right? Rewiring our brain, making new connections, and continuing to just develop our brain overall, right? So one of the ways that we can stay on top of this is by dedicating a certain amount of time at a specific times. For example, if you dedicate 15 minutes on a particular day, to say on every Wednesday, I will spend and block it out, put it on your calendar, actually schedule it. 15 minutes, I'm going to learn about something new. And that something new could be anything. We'll go over the types of things you can learn. But in any event, you can learn something new for that 15-minute block of time, right? And then number 2 is hold yourself accountable. You know, accountability is important. That's why we do this challenge together, because we're holding each other accountable. That's why we have the private self-care group, because that's a place where we can hold each other accountable. Accountability brings about great development, right? So number 3, implementation. So first, dedicate a certain amount of time. 2, hold yourself accountable. 3, implement. And so part of accountability is implementing what you learn. Now, we remember being in school. I'm a teacher, so I'm always a proponent for lifelong learning. And when you learn anything, if you're a student on any level, if you're elementary or just school age learning, or if you are still in college and you're getting your doctorate, if you're learning as a coach, or if you're learning to get a certification, if you're learning on any level, the teacher always tells you to what? Review your notes. Why is that so important? Because when new information is introduced, after the first 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, we learn information like this. But then the information begins to go on a decline if we haven't reviewed it. And so reading over our notes, again, helps us to keep that information fresh, because we automatically lose about 20% within the first 24 hours. 20% of our information drops. So that's why if we refresh, we can read over our notes, listen to the recording again, the audio recording, or write out the things that we remember about what we just learned. It keeps it fresh. Otherwise, if you learn something new on a Friday and you don't even touch it again till Monday, then those days that have passed by, you have lost a lot of retention. And it's almost like learning it again as if it were the first day. So that's why it helps to lock it in like it was the first day of learning once you do your review. Okay, so that's important. So the tips are to dedicate a certain amount of time, to hold yourself accountable, and to implement. So one of the things I wanted to do before going to the Philippines and before going this summer to El Salvador is learn a new language. So we're going to talk about certain things that you can learn. And the best way to learn is to also implement. So one of the things I did in preparation for it, I was watching YouTube videos regularly, a couple days a week before going. And then I started going to our Spanish services on Sunday. So not just my regular English services, I went the extra mile to go to Spanish services so I can see if I can pick up anything. Did I learn anything? So try to implement. Okay, let's talk about the types of things to learn. Here we go. Anything that interests you, first of all, if it's a new language, if it's getting a certification, if it's coding, if it's stitching or sewing, if it's natural holistic things, if it's line dancing, if it's salsa, learn something new and dedicate yourself to it. Gone are the days that we have to sign up for university to learn something. It's good to be a part of a coaching program, online courses, things like that, where we can get the learning in as we see fit, in our time schedule and on our time frame. So, and I always say, Uncle Google is free. YouTube University is free. You can learn anything. And when I think about some of the things I have learned that have overall bettered my entire well-being, not just mine and my family. I've learned about natural skincare and natural health and things that I can use that doesn't have the parabens, aluminums, and sulfates and petroleum and all of that stuff. That interests me. So you may find something that interests you, and that can benefit your overall health and well-being, right? Also, I learned how to garden. We have over 6 acres, and we have a huge field, about 75 by 100 feet of gardening space. And I've learned how to garden, how to raise, how to grow my own foods that help my family. So that saves us money too. So remember, learning something can impact you and also spill over to others. So that not only benefits me, it benefits my entire family, saves us money, and the list goes on and on. Learn how to raise chickens. We learned all of this not having any prior experience or knowledge. So raising chickens, growing a garden. We learned how to homeschool. We've been homeschooling now for over 15 years. I learned graphic website design. So I wanted to make money while I was at home with my kids. And I taught myself graphic design, website design. And since then, I've gone on to make thousands of dollars and have a reach that spans internationally. So I got clients in United Kingdom, clients in Haiti, clients overseas in many places. And I just started right, right at home in the comfort of my home with my laptop, teaching myself something. Didn't go to class, didn't get training, didn't go to school, didn't get a certification or a degree for any of those things. Learning something new, you can teach yourself how to do it on YouTube University. There is every subject matter possible out there that is present. So thanks for being here live. Thank you so much for joining. So you can learn so much every single day. So whatever interests you, I love learning about natural health. I love learning about holistic living. So there's always something you can learn. If you want to learn DIY, which I've learned so much of that being a stay-at-home mom, how to fix things, how to put a floor down, how to put a wall up, how to build a chicken coop. We just did a so tremendous amount of DIY projects. So that DIY, I mean, just learning that impacts my family, my budget, my knowledge, my skill set for me, my children, and so forth and so on. So learning every day or scheduling a time to learn once or twice a week. Set your calendar, set your timer, 15 minutes, get it done. You can get it done. So again, the science behind it is that it stimulates new neural pathways, right? Our brain has a plasticity, which means that it can expand and stretch, and we can rewire and make new connections, okay? And so that comes from the novelty center of the brain. And I had images for that. I had to put that stuff up. But anyway, so we have those new neural pathways that are firing off, right? And so that learning something new, being a lifelong learner, helps us to become a better person overall. It helps to stave off the disease, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, dementia, memory loss completely. So one of the things it does is it builds your esteem. It makes you an interesting person. You can find a more rewarding career. You can boost your income. And even like me, with learning graphic design, being self-taught in that, I taught myself how to do that. And since then have gone on to design for several celebrities. Just me, a homeschool mom, out of the comfort of my home, behind a laptop, in the boonies, so way off the beaten pattern of life out here in the country where no one in the world would know where I am, but you connect to the internet with your gifts, your talents, and bam, there you have it. You're getting clients from around the world. So just learning something new can impact your life. And again, never stop learning. For when we stop learning, we stop growing. It is all about growth, mental health, spiritually, physically, financially, in every way. When you better yourself, you are making an impact on not just your life, on the lives of those people you have your sphere of influence, basically. So you impact others, your family, your friends, by improving your overall and betterments. I'm sorry, I had that across the screen. Thank you so much for being here. So great to see you all. Yes, so going and learning something new. So tell me something you want to learn. Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. What would you like to learn new? What's something you like to explore? Something that you want to learn coding, getting a certification to up level in the workplace. What do you want to learn or something that you want to commit yourself to? I think there's, unlimited potential out there that, or within us rather, that we haven't tapped into, that we could, if we just put ourselves in a place of accountability. Like we said, dedicate the time, hold yourself accountable, and implement. And that's one of the things we do in our private self-care group. We are implementing, we're holding each other accountable. We're sharing with each other what things we're doing. Have we implemented self-care? Have we walked today? Have we written in our journal? Are we grateful? All the things, just small tasks. It doesn't take a lot. A lot of times people think self-care is going on a cruise to the Bahamas and being pampered in a spa. And yes, that's self-care too. And I don't knock that at all because I love it all. But self-care is so much more than that. It's also about personal development, mind, body, spirit. It's not just any one thing. It's not just about the glamour that we put on ourselves, the makeup and the attire, but it's also about enriching our soul, our spirit, all together. We are a three-part being, and every part of us needs to be developed and improved for the glory of God, right? So that He can get the glory out of our lives, so that we can be our best selves and show up for others. That we're supposed to be kingdom builders, and we can't do it if we are run down and just depleted and incapable of serving on a level that we could share excellence in. So I encourage you to continue. Yep, my mom said yes to School of YouTube. Absolutely. YouTube University, that's what I call it. So neurodivergence. Yes, I love that. Salsa. Oh, I love salsa. Oh my gosh, I used to go salsa dancing all the time what do you say, BK, before kids. I used to love going salsa dancing. So I love it. And then, listen, salsa dance, not only you're learning something new, it's a physical activity. You're burning calories, you're staying in shape, you're connecting socially. There's on so many levels you grow and expand. You expand your knowledge of people. You expand yourself with the culture, the language, all of that. So I love it. So yes, I love learning something new, line dancing, any of the things. So that's what I have for you today. And you have any questions or comments or concerns, I appreciate all of you guys for being here and being part of this conversation, because we are really raising an awareness about self-care so that we can do what we are called to do, our assignment, our calling, our purpose, fulfill that with basic self-care. So yes, you love history. I love history too. I love taking tours. I love teaching that in my homeschool. I love learning that as well. And what I've been learning even so much about history is going back to the natural methods that we once had before all of the modern technologies we have. So some of those historical things that our grandparents did are so much better than how we're living today with all the chemicals, and we're making it easy. We're extending the shelf life, but we're killing ourselves in the process on every level, whether it is food, makeup, whatever. So I definitely agree. Just learning about our history, the better way to live a simplistic lifestyle, to learn how to live more naturally, more chemical free, all of those things, just learning, period. Learning is a beautiful thing, and I definitely encourage you to be a lifelong learner. So continue to learn, grow, and expand in every capacity. So it makes us better people, right? So thank you for tapping the screen and sending stars and gifts on TikTok or on Facebook, YouTube. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you all tomorrow with tomorrow's challenge on day 15. So we made it 2 weeks, and we have 1 week left, and it's not too late for someone to join and plug in. They can go back and watch the replays. And thank you for sharing. Sharing is caring. God bless you all. See you tomorrow.